summer, and when she asked me,
I'm sorry, I forgot to start.
oh, that's my recording.
Yeah.
When she asked me to do this, I was so thrilled and honored and excited. And I had several different versions of this, what this talk would look like, but this is kind of what I settled on. So I hope y'all like it. And thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Again, since it's just us, I mean, it's very informal. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have a bunch of slides, and I'll try to get through them as quickly as possible. And hold on, let me see. All right, can everybody see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, make sure. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I basically just wanted to kind of let everybody know what I'd be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about the history of roads, kind of how I got here, how I started with the Barrett Library, actually started with the Borough Library, which I'll also go into some detail about that. And then we moved into Barrett. I'm going to highlight some of our current projects, resources, and kind of just highlight my work here. And then also the future of academic libraries in general, on the whole, just kind of what we see as our future. Does that sound good to everybody? So many people ask me, what does a librarian do? A lot of people ask, do you read all day? Do you shush people? Do you still order books? Isn't everything available online? Do you check out books all day? Do you need a degree to be a librarian? I get all these questions all the time, and I think they're so funny. And yes, you do. You need a master's degree for a library science degree, especially in higher education. But our roles are always changing. It's really important to have that degree, but it's also really important to keep up with all the technology and all the changes. I feel like in some ways I'm a social worker, I'm a tech support, I'm a lawyer, always trying to figure out copyright issues, a teacher, a confidant, a curator of collections, I'm a marketer. We have so many different roles now. So the traditional librarian is still there, but there's so many other places that this profession has gone. I always love this quote, Google can bring you back 100,000 answers, but a librarian can bring you back the correct one. That is so true, especially in this changing world with all the technology, all the online resources, changing formats. It's really important. A lot of the students here at Rhodes, as smart as they are, they have a tough time navigating through the resources. So we're here to always help navigate through and make sure they find the right ones. Little bit about me. So my background story, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida originally. I was born and raised at the Jacksonville Jewish Center. I have a conservative background, and my family was very active in the Jewish community. I went to Florida State University, that is the Seminoles, go Noles. I got a bachelor's of science in education with an emphasis on community and school health. And then I got a master's degree in library and information sciences from Florida State as well. And just going into that, what happened was I went back, and when I graduated and went back to Jacksonville, they were recruiting librarians for Duval County school system. They had a shortage of librarians, and Florida State was looking to bring a distance learning program to Jacksonville. And they had a lot of professors that were willing to travel, and then we traveled back and forth just to kind of fill the need in the community. So I was recruited. I started working as a librarian out of field, And as a professional librarian, and I worked under, my mentor was Cynthia Rylant. She was leading the way in technology in Duval County. So she hired me to take over the role as the teacher, and I would teach information skills. I would kind of run the library, manage the library and the print resources while she was getting grants and making sure that we had the technology. We had the, it was in 1994 when I started. I don't know how many of you remember the technology explosion of the internet. And we had the local area networks, we had CD-ROMs, and all of a sudden we had all these resources that were on those CD-ROMs, and we had this network of computers, and we had to, you know, fight for money, and she had to find money, and then she was busy training the entire county. So it was an amazing experience. I worked there for 4 years at Wolfson High School, my alma mater, and then I went on to one other school before I left. I then met my husband, Josh, in Jacksonville, and his career moved us to New Orleans and then to Memphis. So we ended up here. We joined Beth Shalom Synagogue, and we are active members. We love our community, and we started a family. My son is Alec. He's a freshman at University of Missouri, and my daughter Elena is a freshman at Houston High School. And we have a cat, Milo. So I came to Rhodes. I immediately found the job at Rhodes. They were looking. They had put a ad in the paper. I was still in 2001. I was still looking in the classifieds, and they had a position for a catalog and collection development librarian. So I came, and as soon as I got here, I knew that it was just the right fit for me. I got the job, and my life changed. So, and I've been here for 21 years. I need to start lying about that, but it is 21 years this past August. So my main career goal has always been connecting people to resources. So no matter what I do in the background or working with faculty or students, whatever it is, I just like to make sure that everybody finds the resources they need. So, okay. Travel back in time, little Rhodes history or trivia. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Rhodes was actually founded in Clarksville, Tennessee in 1848. And does anybody know, here's a little trivia, how many names has Rhodes College had?
3, maybe 4. No, I don't know.
I just remember Southwestern.
Southwestern.
I remember
okay.
that one for sure.
Okay. Well, the answer is 7. We've actually had 7 names. It was founded by a group of Masons. It was started as the Masonic University of Tennessee, and then it changed several times over the years. It became Southwestern Presbyterian University in 1875 when they became affiliated with the Presbyterian Church. In 1925 was a very big year for us. That is when President Charles Deal at the time moved us to Memphis, to the present campus in Midtown. And that's when they shortened the name to Southwestern, and we became simply known as Southwestern when we left the Presbyterian Church. And then in 1945, we changed it to Southwestern at Memphis. Most of you probably know Southwestern at Memphis. And then in 1984, we settled on Rhodes College, and that was named in honor of our former president, Peyton Nall Rhodes. This is a picture of Southwestern, and this is a picture of actually the former Palmer Hall. It's now called Southwestern Hall, but that was approximately 1928. And I have gone through all of these pictures with our archivist, Bill Short, and our associate director, and he has gone over all of this to make sure it is factually correct. So I thank him. This was our sign when we changed our name to Rhodes College. And since 1984, Rhodes has grown from a regionally recognized program to a nationally ranked top liberal arts and sciences colleges. Approximately 2,070 students are in attendance this year. We represent 45 states and 63 countries. A lot of people don't know we have a really big international population. We have over 50 majors and minors. And we, including Jewish studies and Jewish, Islamic, and Middle Eastern studies. So,
Interesting.
yeah. A university is just a group of buildings gathered around a library. That was a quote from Shelby Foote, Memphis historian. He actually lived here in Memphis and he wrote his Civil War narrative. It took him 20 years, but he wrote it here in Midtown Memphis in his home. And we do have, we acquired his diaries and his papers and documents and his library. So I think that was in 2010, and I will tell you a little bit more about that in our, when I talk about our archives. Okay, quick history of the Borough Library. When I came to Rhodes, we were still in the Borough Library. So I was hired as a catalog collection development librarian to help weed the collection. We had been in the Borough Library since 1953 to 2005. It was the largest gift at the time. It was dedicated, the gift was from Mr. and Mrs. A.K. Burrow, and they renovated it in 1988, but we outgrew, obviously, our population more than doubled, and we outgrew it as we needed a more modern library. But so they hired me to help weed the collection and go through and make sure that we weeded out the outdated materials. I work with faculty. I work in Bill Short and I worked together. We were kind of a collection development team, and we worked with faculty to make sure that we didn't move. We had over 240,000 materials, and you want to make sure before you move to a new building that you don't move anything that's outdated. And so we spent 4 years updating the collection. And this is a quick picture of Palmer Hall to the Borough Library in 1954. This is our president, President Rhodes, and librarian Mary Marsh carrying the first books to the Borough building when we first moved into the Borough building. At the time, this is the first freestanding library we had on campus. Okay. So this is the summer of our move. So again, I worked for 4 years, making sure that the collection was current, and we spent 4 years planning. We had received a gift from Paul Barrett Jr. He is actually the nephew of the Burrow family, so it was the largest gift ever received from at Rhodes. It was $35 million to build the new library. So just being part of the planning of the library was so interesting. They took all of our areas. I got to basically create my own, the mending and processing room, and they took all of our needs into consideration. So being a part of the whole move was just once in a lifetime experience. This is us. There's me there. I'm right there in the middle. And it was just, those are the movers in the back, and it was just quite an undertaking. This was the Burrow to Barrett Book Brigade in 2005. This is our director, Miss Blair, Lynn Blair, and our physical plant director, Brian Foshi. And you can see the book there is the same book they brought to the Burrow Library in the old picture. So they kind of had all these traditions, and so they brought that over, and we were all part of the move. So it was really exciting. And there we are, all smiles after the big move. There I am at the bottom, my little baby face there. But one thing about the Barrett Library that's different. So we have been a merged division with our IT department in information technology services and instructional technology. We've been merged since 1999, but we were married but we didn't live together until 2005. This is a big change. We all moved in together and into the library, and we had been a team since 1999, but we really became a collaborative team. I feel like it really strengthened the college. It strengthened the resources, the services that we give. It was just kind of a game changer, I believe, for the college. So I'm really proud of our team. We have a really close team of people, and we work together, collaborate together all the time with projects. And it's nice to have the technology experts with us. This is Rhodes 2022. We'll go back to the present and we'll start talking about the present day. This is our campus. It's really beautiful. Everybody says you work in such a beautiful place, but I just kind of want to talk about the projects we have and the beauty inside the place. There's so much to talk about as well. So. Okay, here's our modern library, Paul Barrett Junior Library. It's 136,000 square feet. It symbolically, they moved the library to the middle of the campus. So the borough library had been kind of tucked away, and they moved it to the center. And so it really is kind of the heart of the campus, and it's easier for professors and students to get to. We have so many people in the library all the time. We're always trying to find more seating. It's a very modern library for 2005. We have computer labs, collaborative learning spaces, digital media lab, archives, a theater, a cafe. And the one thing we have is our books. We have over 300,000 print books. And one thing, obviously, I oversee the print collection, but the print books are so important. We're very traditional, all the online resources, keeping up with technology, but still the print books, we still believe that serious students and they still need access to the print. So we make decisions every day about what to keep and what to preserve. Barrett Library has always been ranked among one of the country's most beautiful libraries. And just here's a little trivia. How many of you heard this trivia about the apse, about the constellation painted on the ceiling there? It's in the picture. This is the way the stars would have appeared on the first day of classes back in Clarksville on January 1st, 1849, the first day of classes. So if you ever come to the library, I'm happy to show you, but it's really beautiful. The picture doesn't really do it justice, but. Any questions so far? Okay, so this is my department, and it's catalog and collection development. We are rich with tradition and pride. I'm so proud. I have 5 student workers. I could not do my job without them. They are so articulate and so thoughtful and dedicated and organized. They have so many different qualities, and I'll tell you, these are actually Emma in the stripes right there. She's actually a graduate. She graduated last year, and she is working as the circulation supervisor for the library now. So she's not technically a student anymore, but I'll show you my other students too. That's Helena and Jewel and Katera. And we basically, as a cataloging department, we oversee all the cataloging, organizing of gift collections, the processing, and the conservation, which includes book repair. So I work closely with the reference librarians, interlibrary loan, our archivist, my director, everybody. We kind of, circulation especially, we work very closely to make sure everything's in tip-top shape. In collection development, I work with the faculty, and we make sure that we are constantly keeping up with the curriculum changes all the time. We get new programs. We have to make sure that we are speaking to the new faculty and, of course, the current faculty, and making sure that when their curriculum changes, that we make sure that we keep up with our resources as well. Everything we do is really just based around the curriculum. So we are big partners with them. wanted to highlight some of our print gift collection. I do oversee gift collections, and we have had, especially Ron, thank you, Ron Holzer, right before, I believe it was during the pandemic, he brought to us hundreds of, when he was moving, he invited me to come take a look at his collection, which was amazing. He donated hundreds of books, a lot of, so we basically, we go through the books and see, do we have duplicates? Do they pertain to the curriculum? Can we use these? So we ended up adding over 120 titles, mainly Jewish history and studies, Jewish culture, history, art, archaeology, a lot of biographical books on famous Jews and women in Jewish law, in particular, women in the Bible and Holocaust studies. So we're very thankful to you, Ron. Thank you so much. And I have an entire list of your, and everybody appreciated it. When we do a project like this, we make sure that the entire division knows all about it, and then we get in touch with professors, and so they know what's been added to the collection. So we definitely advertise that. Dr. Robert Gold, he is back in, I think it was in 2007, he donated some Holocaust books and some books on Jewish studies, and we added probably about 100 books from him as well to help support our curriculum. We do have a class on Holocaust, and of course we have a minor in Jewish studies. So other types of, make sure my time is okay. Other just notable gift collections recently over the pandemic. When the Memphis College of Art closed, they offered their print collection to us, and we ended up taking the periodicals with Professor. I'm also the art liaison, so I work closely with the art department. And Professor David McCarthy teaches mid-century modern art and American art, and so we saved this bound print journal collection. We kind of ran it against our collection, and there were several magazines and several journals that we didn't have. And so in art, they don't really prefer the digital. A lot of periodicals, a lot of journals are now digitized, and we are able to recycle the print bound journals, because a lot of the sciences and math and different disciplines don't really need to have the physical, but art in particular, when their journals are digitized, or when their materials are digitized, sometimes the colors are different. Sometimes it doesn't, the advertisements are gone, which a lot of art is in advertising. And so they requested that their journals, that their students do come in and use the print journals. So they're very valuable to them. So we took a lot of time to make sure they were ingested into our collection and preserved and saved. So we kind of just inherited the collection, but we thought it was really important. Current project we're working on is Dr. Andy Reyes' collection. A board member brought this, or it was to the attention of them, and then they passed it down to the professors. And it is about 1,400 books on classic Greek and Roman archaeology and ancient history. The scope of this collection is, it's graduate level materials. And yes, we are a liberal arts college. However, we have a professor, Miriam Clinton, teaches this, and she was over the moon. I'm in the middle, I'm cataloging all these materials, and she teaches this course, and she uses these materials, and everybody says, hey, aren't these all online? No, they're not all online, and if they are, they are very expensive. So this is thousands and thousands of dollars of a collection we inherited it through this Professor Sackett. So he was a famous professor from the Groton School in Massachusetts. So anyway, that's our current project. We also had the Marcus collection, and here's another picture. You might recognize this young lady. This is Mandy Cassius. She works in our department. She's a freshman here, and you can see her in her Hebrew Rhodes sweatshirt. So she is working. She loves it so far. She's doing great. And hopefully she'll be a librarian one day. Just kidding. But anyway, she's doing a great job. Anyway, she helped process the Marcus collection. We got a gift of 5,000 books that we've gone through. We added about 1,400 of the books, but he was a Victorian culture and literature specialist, mainly Charles Dickens, Freudian theory. He was the author of over 200 publications. So we have kind of ingested a lot of his materials, and the English faculty was just over the moon too. I wanted to also mention a lot of my students end up going to library school. I've had 6 or 7 students either in library school or working in the field of library science. My intern, Shelby, graduated last year. Graduated 2 years ago, and she ended up going to library school. She had her degree in English. She did her internship with us, and she actually helped me catalog this collection. And now she's working at First Regional Library in Mississippi as a children's librarian. But I think that a lot of the experience they get in this department in particular with the library science, when they really learn about the science behind and the organization of and the management of libraries, it kind of inspires them. A lot of them have gone on and kind of combined their degrees and gone on to library school. So this is Reagan. Francine, you'll recognize her. This is my other
Yes,
student.
I do.
You see her?
I do.
And she's a sophomore. We also do something that's close to my heart is mending the repair of books. So we conserve them. This is so funny. This is her quote. "I don't like doing things that have no purpose. The best part of the job is the variety of tasks, independence, and the progression of skills." That's Reagan Goodlow, and what she likes most about working in the library. She has taken on book repair. She loves it. It's a wonderful thing to teach. She's doing great at it. So it's surprising. A lot of the students come to me, "Can I repair books?" I mean, you think that they're in such a digital age and books don't matter anymore. No, these students really love it's an art. It's an art. You work with glue and tape and double stitch, and you really learn how to preserve these books, and some get very artistic with it. So I taught a class over the summer. I had the best time with the library staff of UT Martin, and my student Allison's on the end there helping me, giving books their lives back. It's kind of a skill that's passed along. It's kind of a lost art, but some library schools still do teach the art of mending. So I also taught at the JCC when my kids were still at the JCC in the preschool. I did a workshop with some of the parents and some of the community, and I taught them how to repair books, and I repaired a lot of the kids' books for them at the time in the library, because a lot of them were falling apart. And instead of ordering new books, it's really easy to mend the books, and especially for a children's library. So I'm glad that I was able to do that. And I hope that maybe they're still doing it now that my kids are older, but I hope they're still able to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into a little bit about any questions so far. Anybody want to stop me? Okay, so some of the
Wait a minute, I do have something. This
Yes.
is Francine. Can you hear me?
yes, Francine.
Yeah. So I know you were talking about the advantages of printed books and so forth. And I just know that I belong to Salon. We are the ones that started the medical library, or gave money to start the medical library at my mind just went blank, at the Danny Thomas thing.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the hospital?
St. Jude.
St. Jude.
St. Jude. How could I forget it anyway? Because I'm nervous. Okay, so anyway, it's St. Jude, but I know we started with, of course, printed books, a few at a time. And now there's there, I don't think there's any printed books left. Everything was digitalized. So I'm wondering in the medical field if that made any difference. I know what you're saying and why you're, are not digitalizing so much. So do you think y'all will ever go to digitalizing totally or at all?
I mean, we have thousands of ebooks. I mean, we are definitely, we have a lot, I mean, and we've digitized our special collections, a lot of our special collections. I mean, we do definitely have a ton of online resources. A lot of our books in the collection are digitized through. So we definitely do have, and we do digitize. We hold on, we do still hold on. Francine, it really depends on the field. I think history holds on to more of the print, but we also digitize those books as well. I'll kind of talk about How Do You Trust? There is a database that has, a resource that they have digitized a lot of the older materials and preserve them. For us personally, we don't actually digitize. We don't have the staff to digitize. We're not a part of that. And I would love it if we could be at some point, but we're not part of that collaboration as of now. So maybe in the future, but I think in medical terms, a lot of those books, we probably would read older books because yes, they do in the sciences, they become outdated. And so we would just read those books definitely. We get a lot of ebooks in. A lot of times we'll ask professors, do you want the ebook version or do you want the print? Most prefer the print, and students, but there are just certain reference materials that are definitely, we go to the digital, we would just go and if we need multi-users, it really just depends on the course, what they need what they need it for. And especially journals, I would say a lot of the online journals, mostly we've gone to digital and online resources there. Again, certain journals will keep in print, because of the reasons I said, but a lot of the journals, we always need the space. So we would, we do it all with the faculty. We just we'll evaluate and make sure that the online resources is just as good. So we definitely do. It's just kind of depends on the situation. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, very interesting. I knew with a lot of, like you said, you have a big percentage of international students. And so I was thinking that might, the digitalized might be more helpful. But so what, is there a percentage of, it's not half and half. You have more printed books, right? Or do you?
I think we have more, actually, I believe we have more, I think we have more ebooks. I think we have more resources. We have about 300,000 print books still, but we have an electronic resources librarian, and it changes all the time because we get resources all the time. I really would have to look at our statistics now, but it really depends because online resources are databases and journals, and we get video, we stream videos, and we do all types of different kinds of resources. So I'd have to look, but I think we have more, probably at this point, we have more ebooks, I believe.
Where is the ebook librarian? Where is she? Where is she or he?
Oh, he's here. He's here today.
Oh, okay. Oh, so y'all are together.
Yes. So we work together. I do a lot of them. So he'll kind of turn on different online collections. And then my area is I help with the metadata. I make sure that all the records are correct. A lot of times ebooks and print books they have different records. So you have to kind of combine them to make sure that they have summaries and they have their contents and they have the right subject headings. And sometimes they're just cataloged differently. So he'll kind of pass them along to me, and then I'll check them and then make sure that, because as long as it's right in the online catalog, you're spending some of these ebooks, they're very expensive. And so you spend all of this money on these materials. And if they're not cataloged or coded properly, then you can't find them. If it's the wrong subject or if there's not enough subjects. So I make sure that the next person looking for these, that they'll discover these resources, whether they are online or print or whatever that may be. So
Sounds like definitely a two-person job.
it is. I know we work together all the
Or
time.
more,
So
or more.
we're always back and forth with is this right? Is this, or we got rid of this, so we're always constantly.
Well, thank
Okay,
you. That was great. And also just to say, I've been in a few Ivy League school and other places, and Rhodes is absolutely, that library is so gorgeous. So
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you, Francine. I know, it's so good to see you here. Thank you very much. So it is quite special. So
A nice place to come to work, yes.
it really is. It definitely is. Okay, so let me move on. I know I was going to leave a little bit of time for it's 12:40. Just quickly, a lot of this information you can take with you. This will be recorded, and of course, I'm always here if anybody needs help, or if I mention a resource that's interesting and you want to learn more about it. I'm here as a community member and as a resource. So I guess that's what this is all about, me showing you these resources, and then you can get in touch with me. dlinks at roads.edu. This is our special collections. This is our college archives. This is what we have. This kind of advertises all of our special collections, and most of the time, special collections are what makes a library so unique. It's what really stands out, and it makes you special. Our special collections, we constantly, Bill Short oversees all of our archives and special collections, and we collaborate together all the time. So he digitizes certain projects. We have lots of projects in waiting. We just kind of have to pick and choose what gets digitized and when, depending on the need. We have lots of, these are just some of the highlighted collections of what we have. Currently, we are digitizing the Judge D'Army Bailey papers. He was the founder of the National Civil Rights Museum. So that is a project on our board right now that he is currently digitizing. And we do have the Irma, I have to mention the Irma Sternberg collection. She was the activist who stopped the expressway from going through Overton Park all those years ago. We have her papers and a lot of the information during that time. So this is all available, dlinks.roads.edu. Please check it out or ask me if need any help navigating. I also want to mention Crossroads to Freedom. This was a project that we brought to Rhodes. It's a digital archive that kind of chronicles the civil rights era in Memphis. We have an oral history collection. All of this is available. The sanitation strike tapes, we helped digitize those tapes. All of these, crossroadstofreedom.org, they are located on in D-Links, and go there. There's just so much information, oral history, documents, news broadcasts, all covering the civil rights, the sanitation worker strike, and the civil rights era in the 1960s. So please check that out. One other thing, I want to give a shout out to my coworker and friend, Keenan Paget. We also have she created this podcast, Links to the Past, she used the college's digital and physical archives to tell the stories. And they're humorous and funny and factual, and they are true. It kind of just brings a lot of the campus stories and the history to life. So check that out too. You can get it on Apple, anywhere you get your podcast. You can just type it in and it should come up. If not, here is the website for that. They're very entertaining. Okay, and I know I'm running out of time, but I wanted a few other interesting, these are not Rhodes resources, but I just wanted to how many of you have heard of the Tennessee Electronic Library? Okay, anybody? Okay, so this is another takeaway. The librarian has to give takeaways here. The Tennessee Electronic Library is free to all Tennessee citizens. It's tntel.info, and it's over 400 400,000 electronic resources. It is amazing. My favorite, it's general research, genealogy sources, business resources, consumer health, scholarly journals, etc., videos, test prep materials. My son used my favorite database is a Gale database in there. Again, these are thousands of dollars worth of material of databases and resources that are free to Tennessee citizens. Opposing viewpoints, he was doing a debate paper, and what they do is they give the pros and cons of all different social issues, current social issues, and it's really amazing. I just wanted to give a shout out to that because I've been using it for several years and I just love it. So anybody—
Is that under the opposing viewpoints?
It's Gale opposing viewpoints. I can
Where
tell
do
you,
see?
just if you go to tntel.info, and I'm absolutely, I would love to help. I used to be a trainer for TEL, and I used to teach it to all the students, and people would come and just kind of, they update it every year or so. They get new databases and they change them out. But it's so much fun to do the research. 3 other, Google Scholar, Internet Archive, and HathiTrust. Those are all digital. Basically, they are just they're databases that contain lots of digitized books. Internet Archive has a lot of free digital books that have been scanned. They even have lots of lists of censored books and banned books, and they have they have the open library, which is through controlled digital lending, and they also have lots of free scanned books for the general public. They also have movies, software, music, etc. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. HathiTrust is more for academic research. But that's a collaboration of different academic and research libraries that they've preserved over 17 million items. Most of the items are out of copyright, but then the partner institutions, if you are a partner and you kind of buy in, you kind of become a partner with it, then you can get into the books that are not out of copyright, and it's really amazing. So I'm almost done. I wanted to leave a little bit of time. I know we're kind of getting toward the end here, but again, we're a profession in transition, especially with the onset of the pandemic. We partnered with faculty in the Rhodes community in ways that we could never even imagine. We did our jobs. Dr. Haas was our president then, the first Jewish woman president. She led the way through the pandemic. We were sent home. We were able to keep our jobs. They found a way. We did our jobs from home. The IT, our division, figured out ways to get all the Zoom working. All the professors went online. We were able to keep everybody engaged and keep the college afloat and classes running the best way we could. I was cataloging books from home and coming in on the weekends, and we figured out ways to keep it all afloat. But some of the challenges, budget challenges, of course, rising costs of journals. You go from the renting journals and renting materials versus owning them. So the costs go up, which means in collection development, choices have to be made a lot, which is when you work with the faculty and you supporting a curriculum, you have to make those choices together. Censorship is an issue, not really with us, fortunately, but I know in a lot of libraries now, it's very sad, but there's a lot of censorship issues. And my director and I talk all the time about this, and we don't really have those because we stay so close and work so close with the faculty. We make sure that our collection that we can defend all the things that are in our collection. And also, like a lot of the student support and well-being, we take on that a lot and make sure a lot of people come to us for different resources. And so we make sure that we stay up to date on that. The future of the libraries will and always will be, we feel now, is a place, the campus anchor, a collection. Yes, there's a shift from paper to electronic, and we're balancing that out all the time. preservation and access to the information is always key. And a source of human expertise, number 3. Without librarians, the library is merely just a warehouse of stuff. And I really feel like we make it what it is, and we make sure that people get to the resources they need. And sometimes that's figuring out what those needs are. And I leave you with this: without libraries, what do we have? We have no past and we have no future. And that was Ray Bradbury. Any questions? And this is my email address. And again, I am a resource to the community. Any of these collections you want to check out, any help with any of the websites, feel free to explore on your own. But if you have any questions, I am here.
Thanks, Rachel, and thanks everybody who joined us. I know I'm not the only one who thinks that libraries are always the coolest buildings on any campus.
Clearly so, clearly so.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
great to visit the other departments, but they're so singularly focused, where a library is an explosion of every topic, every point of view, all in one place. So it's been really great to hear about it. Makes me want to come and
So
visit.
interesting, Rachel, an excellent presentation, really
Indeed.
interesting.
Thank you so much, Francine. Thanks for joining me. I mean, just seriously, get in touch with me whenever you want, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I kind of just blew through it, I feel like, but I just wanted to make sure I got
For
everything.
me to ask a question.
Yes.
Okay. Ever since I read The Library by Susan Orlean, I've been concerned about fires in libraries and how sprinkler systems and fire hoses just don't help. So is there a new state-of-the-art fire suppression system in your library?
That is a great question. That's a great question, Susan. I believe so. This building was built in 2005. I believe so. As like a librarian, I'd have to find out. But I do think that we do have a lot of those types of measures in place. But that's interesting.
I mean, because it sounds like the collection that Rhodes has is very, very special, and I'm just concerned.
No, Deb, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I will say this, it's definitely in a better spot. I mean, the old library was just a lot of different stacks, and it was, the collection is more, it's together, it's in a better space. I believe we have all of those type of environmental concerns in place, but I can find out.
I'd love to know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope you know-
We
I hope
actually
you know-
have.
Hope we never need it.
I mean, I know that we have all of our fire alarms, and we do, we have different, but we once in a while, if we have a drip or things happen, if the books get wet, or we take care of that immediately if anything like that were to happen. But a fire, I'll have to find out for you.
Okay.
I
I
will.
also have some books that need repair. Would you, if you have any students who'd like to practice on somebody else's books?
Sure. I know I definitely love that. I have repaired several books for Jonathan. I forgot to mention, there was one part of my talk that I forgot to mention. I don't know how I missed this, but one thing, just one quick thing, now that I mentioned Jonathan, one thing, when Jonathan Judakin came to Rhodes, he had published a bibliography on anti-Semitism for Oxford Bibliographies. And so that's just an example of a collaboration we did when he came here. He brought us the bibliography, and we compared it against our collection, and we found over 100. The bibliography probably had over 300, 400 items, and we ended up adding about 100 books and just resources to help him get his anti-Semitism classes up and running. And so he had the tools for them. And we also updated, I'm sorry, I don't know, that was part of my liaison talk, and I just realized that I completely spaced on that. But I wanted to let y'all know that we work closely with him. We constantly getting books for him and making sure that we stay up to date on his areas. So
Rachel, do you know how many Jewish professors there are at Rhodes?
Let me see. Victor Coonan, Jonathan Judakin, Scott Newstock, let's see, I believe 6.
Okay.
How
I
about the
believe there's
guy
6.
who's in the art department? He did an on 1 foot. Oh, I should know this. I should know all
Vic-
the
Victor
roads.
Coonan, yes.
Yeah,
Victor orders a lot of materials. I'm the art liaison to Victor, and he actually, he was on the committee to bring, I think, the Hillel directors. He got us all
Sounds right.
together, and we did our interviews with Sophie and then Jeremy. So yeah, he's great. Brian Schaefer, he's been here. He's been here for a long time, and
did you say Eric Gottlieb? And
Eric Gottlieb, yes.
Rebecca
Sarah Decker.
Yeah,
And Eric, who else? I'm trying to think.
I'm going through the list right now.
Jonathan Judakin, let's see.
Jeffrey Jackson, did you say him?
Jeffrey Jackson, is he?
History, European and
Yes.
Western history professor?
Yes. He orders a lot of books too. I'm always emailing him with new books. He is an avid reader and researcher for sure.
And then we have Professor Eddie Taram, who's a
Eddie
professor of
Taram, yes.
history, Jewish, Islamic, and Middle Eastern studies. And we said Victor.
Wow, that's
Yep,
good.
quite a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I work, but I love what I do, and I definitely it's so interesting to just to learn something new all the time. So it's what I love about being a librarian. But anyway, if you have any, hold on, I think okay, we're almost out. I see my mother-in-law is here. Hello.
I don't know if you can hear me.
We can
I
hear
saw
you.
you snuck in. Hi.
Hi, hon.
Hi, thank you for coming. She's not showing her face, but
Her presence is known.
her
Yes.
presence is known, yes. So anyway, well, I hope I answered all the questions, but feel free to contact me if you need anything else.
Thank you,
Rachel.
Rachel. This was
Thank you,
great.
Rachel.
So we don't
Thanks.
have a program in December. We won't be back until January 27 when Professor Sam Alperin, who is a independent education consultant and former professor of education at Christian Brothers University, will present her on 1 foot lecture. I'm not sure yet what she'll talk about, but it'll be interesting. And then we have 2 more after that in February and March to close out the season. And you can find all this on hillelsofmemphis.org.
January 27th, you said?
January 27 is the next one, yeah. And then we've got February 24 and March 24.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me stop. There, hello, okay. There we
Hello
are.
and goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. All right, well, I'm gonna sign off from, whereas I need to go develop the collection and think my books are calling. Or
I'm
my-
gonna ask Reagan for her autograph.
I know. It's so funny.
Good job,
She's-
Rachel. We enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Matt.
Bye-bye. Have a great day,
Bye.
afternoon.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
for coming.
Bye. Thank you.